Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m. The usual kickoff time. It is the 8th of July, and as we always do in these live streams, we're going to look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press today in Spain. We'll look at some comments that have been left on the Channel 2 by viewers. Lots of commentary going on in that comment section in recent times. Lots of people expressing their opinions, their points of view, and also telling us what they are up to. And we'll go into the chat section also in the second half of this evening's live stream around the 18-19 minute mark and check out what is happening there among the viewers who are watching live. The temperatures, fortunately, I'll get this out of the way first, have dropped a little bit today, at least in Madrid. Cooler temperatures in the morning and also throughout the day, cooler temperatures, which have been a great relief because yesterday was also a stinking hot day. But we'll get into the news, and most likely as a result of the hot, dry temperatures, wildfires have been out of control. We saw one last week, I think, in the province of Lleida in Catalonia, and now in the province of Tarragona, there is also a fire that is out of control. We'll look at it now. We can see that the wildfire there in Tarragona burning 2,000 hectares or 2,300 hectares burnt and has forced 18,000 people into confinement. A massive wildfire in Tarragona, which began on Monday in the municipality of Paüls, has already devastated approximately 2,300 hectares. Efforts to extinguish the blaze are being severely hampered by strong winds, which overnight reached speeds of over 90 kilometers per hour. Núria Palón, Catalonia's Minister of the Interior, confirmed that 18,000 residents have been confined to their homes in several towns: Paüls, Alfara de Carles, Xerta, Aldovar and Tivenys, I think that is, as well as in the Tortosa districts of Riegues, Bitem and Jesus. The situation remains critical, with Palón urging residents to strictly follow civil protection guidance. Over 300 firefighters battled the flames throughout the night, and more than 100 troops from the Military Emergency Unit, the UME, have now joined the operation along with aerial support. The fire has breached key roads, including one from Paüls to Xerta, complicating containment efforts and prompting the activation of additional emergency measures. So a wildfire out of control in that part of Spain, 18,000 people forced into confinement, 2,300 hectares already burnt, and we'll see what the final damage is regarding this fire when it's finally under control. No reports as to when that will be, because firefighters and the military unit there, as we saw, fighting that blaze. So we'll see if they can get it under control, but the conditions are perfect for wildfires. Not sure how this one began. I think last week it was some type of machinery that started the fire, tractors and the like on the farming areas in Lleida. This one here in Tarragona, not sure how it started, but hopefully it wasn't a deliberate act, which as we know here in Spain and other parts of the world are becoming far too common, these deliberate fires. Not saying, of course, that this one was deliberate. I didn't see that in the report. But you never know when the arsonists are going to hit and get their pleasure from setting places on fire. So if you are in that part of Spain, traveling through that part of the country, stay safe and keep out of the way of that fire and avoid the area if you can. And hopefully those 18,000 people that are in confinement at the moment, nothing serious will happen to them. Fingers crossed. Second piece of news now, and one of Spain's political parties is following the rhetoric of other politicians throughout the world. And as we can see here, Vox, the Vox political party, is pushing for deportation of legal immigrants who fail to integrate. Vox, Spain's far-right party, has reaffirmed its position that immigrants who fail to integrate should be deported. even if they entered the country legally. Spokeswoman or spokesperson Pepa Millan accused El País of deliberately lying about the party's stance after the newspaper reported that Vox wants to deport up to 8 million immigrants and their children. Millan clarified Vox supports the expulsion of not just irregular migrants, but those who legally entered Spain but cannot integrate. Speaking on COPE or COPE radio, she stated that immigrants must adopt Spanish culture, legal norms, and contribute to society or face repatriation. Meanwhile, Popular Party PP Secretary General Miguel Tellado confirmed they will not govern with the far right but remain open to reaching agreements with Vox. He ruled out creating a political firewall, arguing that Vox shows more state sense than left-wing parties like Sumar Podemos or Podemos. Elsewhere, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez faces scrutiny over a corruption scandal involving former PSOE officials. The day-to-day update there. So Vox pushing for the deportation of legal residents. We know who Vox are talking about. They're people that can't integrate into the country, or they seemingly, according to some people, don't want to integrate into the country for religious reasons, whatever, cultural reasons, and Vox going hard with that particular stance. And, of course, other political groups distancing themselves from Vox currently. The news broke yesterday in El País, as we saw there, that Vox is going to deport, 8 million people if they get into power. Not sure whether that will happen or not, even though they are rising in the polls, given all of the corruption scandals surrounding the current government, Pedro Sánchez and company. And the news broke, and Vox wasn't happy about that it was reported in the newspaper El País that they were going to kick out 8 million people. But they have clarified and said that they're going to kick out people even if they're living here legally, if they haven't integrated into Spanish culture. And they've gone further today, saying that Spain is in danger of losing its cultural identity if immigration from certain parts of the world continues. So, of course, that is the dominating story today. Vox following, as I said, the rhetoric of some other countries in the world currently as far as immigration and deportation is concerned. Third piece of news now, and speeding and tyre failure confirmed as causes of Diego Jota's fatal crash. The Spanish Civil Guard has confirmed that excessive speed and a rear tyre blowout were the causes of the car crash that killed Liverpool footballer Diogo Jota and his brother André Silva on the 2nd of July in Zamora province. The Portuguese player was driving a high-performance Lamborghini Huracan or Huracan at a very high speed on the A52 motorway, where the limit is 120 kilometers per hour. The accident occurred while overtaking another vehicle when a rear tyre failed. The severe fire that engulfed the car has complicated the investigation, but early findings pointed to both high speed and irregular road surface conditions. Forensic experts are focusing on tyre marks left on the road near the town of Cerdanilla. All current evidence indicates that Jota was behind the wheel. Due to the conditions of the bodies after the fire, identification was only possible thanks to personal items found within the remains. A final report is still pending. So, Spain's Civil Guard investigating the causes of that crash. The preliminary findings are that it was speed. I think a lot of people thought that speed would be involved there, excessive speed, considering the fact that he was driving that high-powered vehicle, that Lamborghini Huracan, I think is the name, or I don't know if that's the official name or not, or the Spanish translation, Huracan, but a vehicle that can exceed 300 kilometers per hour, sports car, and it was a rental. Apparently, he picked it up in Barcelona a couple of days prior to the accident, was on his way back to Liverpool for pre-season training, but unfortunately didn't make it. His brother also dying in the tragedy, the accident there on the A52 road. When this story first broke late last week, I think it occurred on the 2nd of July. We saw it there. They were saying that maybe the conditions of the road had something to do with it. I can say firsthand that I travelled on the A52 road between Benavente and Ourense yesterday and also on Sunday, and I'm going to say that the conditions of that road leave a lot to be desired, I'm going to say. The Civil Guard has said that you can travel on that road 130, 140 k's no problems, and you shouldn't have an issue. So I don't know the exact speed he was going on, but I've never seen a road in worse condition here in Spain for a long, long time. That A52 road, and anyone who's travelled on that road will know what I'm talking about. There were endless roadworks going on, patches all over the roads, bumps, etc, etc. So a dangerous road. So we'll see if the Civil Guard gets to the bottom of the investigation. But as we saw there, that preliminary report saying that it was speeding and tyre failure. What made the tyre blow out? Again, that could be the key question here in that high-performance vehicle, the Lamborghini. Next piece of news here, and unfortunately, it's happened again. As we can see here, a German tourist has died after a balcony jump in Mallorca. A 20-year-old German tourist has died after attempting to jump from the third floor of a hotel into a swimming pool in Palma de Mallorca, the first suspected case of balconing on the island this year, according to the Diario de Mallorca. The incident occurred early on Saturday at the Nuda Condor Hotel. The man reportedly heavily intoxicated after a night out in Plata de Palma leapt from his room's balcony approximately 10 meters high, but missed the pool and struck the ground. Emergency services were alerted at 2 a.m. and arrived promptly to find the man seriously injured beside the pool. He was rushed to Son Espaces Hospital in critical condition with multiple injuries, but later died. The National Police's homicide unit is leading the investigation and has interviewed the victim's friends and hotel staff. Authorities believe the fall was an ill-judged stunt while under the influence of alcohol. And again, people dying as a result of these stupid acts, reportedly heavily intoxicated, as we can see here. No doubt there was some alcohol involved in this fall, and the man, of course, not judging correctly the distance between the balcony that he jumped from and the pool, and coming to his death on the hard concrete, which, as we know, wouldn't have been a good sight for the people that had to clean up the mess. And this is a far too common occurrence in that part of Spain, the Balearic Islands. Maybe it's the structure of the hotels, the way the hotels are designed there. They often have open balconies that you can look down onto the pool. I've seen it in Benidorm as well, the same type of setup. And people, obviously, when they have had a few drinks, think that they're Superman and they can do things that they wouldn't normally do, and that was the case there. So a bit of a shame, but what can we do if tourists do act irresponsibly and decide to do things like this, jump off balconies? The final piece of news, and if you're not aware of it, it's all over the Spanish press. The San Fermin festival has started for 2025, and today was an interesting bull run. As we can see here, rogue bull causes chaos in dangerous San Fermin bull run. A lone bull that broke away from the herd created a highly dangerous second bull run of the San Fermin festival in Pamplona. The bull from the Cádiz-based ranch Herederos de José Cebada Gago reportedly turned and charged at runners instead of following the planned route, heightening the danger throughout the event. Emergency services confirmed that at least 8 people were taken to various hospitals after the run. One participant suffered a goring injury, while others sustained head, jaw, torso, and limb injuries due to the trampling or collisions. A previous participant from the festival's first run remains under observation with chest trauma, but is in a stable condition, according to the Red Cross. The bull run began punctually at 8 a.m. following the traditional chants to San Fermin. The run lasted over 5 minutes, unusually long, and was marked by chaos and tension, true to the herd's fearsome reputation. So the rogue bull, as reported here, deciding not to follow the pack, deciding to go off on its own, creating havoc, chaos among the spectators there, the people that line the streets of San Fermin as these bulls run down the streets to the bull ring, where they eventually meet their fate. Because they they face the bullfighters in the afternoon, and a lot of them don't get through the day. But this one deciding to go on its own, and as we said, run amok among the people watching the festival there, and people injured, of course, ending up in hospital. No fatalities yet. I don't know if fatalities are regular in the San Fermin festival, but lots of people do end up in hospital with gorges when bulls, get out of control, or they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they get the bull's horn stuck in a place that you wouldn't want to get a bull's horn stuck into. I can tell you that right now. Now I'm looking at my image here, and it seems to be a little bit out of focus. I think my camera is playing up, so I'm just going to pause the video here for 2 seconds until I refocus. So bear with me, please. Okay, we should be back. Sorry for the delay there, but my camera tends to play up. Don't know whether it's due to the hot weather or not, or whether there's a problem with the cable, but I think it's under control now. So I'll resume the live stream and where we were. I think we're going to need to go into the comment section. So the first one here from Mario. I plan to visit northern Spain to avoid hot weather. Good choice, Mario. Thanks for the comment. I think it is a good choice to visit the north of the country. I think at this time of the year, if you want guaranteed cooler weather, not the extreme temperatures that you'll get in the center of the country or some of the coastal areas with the humidity, you might want to visit the north of the country, because you can find green Spain, of course, and where it does rain more frequently, cooler nighttime temperatures, which is the most important thing. You don't get those tropical nights that you get in other parts of the country, which basically means that it's impossible to sleep. For a lot of people, temperatures not dropping below 26, 27 degrees Celsius. But in the north of the country, where I was yesterday, the nights are cooler. That is for sure. Surrounded, as I said, by the greenery, the green scenery, and also the precipitation, which falls a lot more frequently in the summer months than it does in other parts of the country, which is important. So, yeah, go for it. Book your trip there, whether it's Asturias, Galicia, Santander, Cantabria, Basque Country, anywhere in the north, you'll find cooler temperatures. That is for sure. Traveling during the summer months, absolutely, go for it. One here from GDD. I live near Monforte de Lemos, Lugo. We've had 2 bushfires in the last 4 days. Some psycho running around setting fires. We need rain really in the worst way. Yeah, thanks for the comment there, GDD. That is a part of Spain. I was close to that area yesterday. As I said, I went to the north of the country, to the province of El Ourense, and there weren't any bushfires there, but I could see that always a possibility given the amount of forests that are in that part of the world. We saw earlier in the broadcast today, I think it was Tarragona, where fires are burning out of control, and Monforte de Lemos, which, as reported here by, who was that, GDD, have been set deliberately, the fires there, by some clown who thinks that it's a good idea to go out with some fuel and a lighter and create havoc in the local community. So hopefully those fires are under control soon, and rain is needed in that part of the world, which, as I said, can happen more frequently in that part of the world in the summer months than it can in other parts of the country. So let's hope some rain falls soon and it dampens the ground there. One here from the Shoeless Nomad. This region, meaning the Valladolid area here in Spain, produces the best red wine in the world. Thanks for the comment, Shoeless Nomad. I always tend to refrain from using the word the best or the worst. I think the wines from that part of the country, Valladolid, whether it's the Ribera del Duero or the Rueda white wines, are good. In fact, you could say that they are very good if you get a good bottle for a decent price. But are they the best? Are they the best? I don't know. The best? Don't know. Because where I come from in Australia, I've had some fantastic wines. In fact, I would say some of the wines that I've drunk in Australia are as good, if not better, than some of the good wines that I've had here. There are good wines coming out of many parts of the world. Let's not forget the French wines. Let's not forget some Italian wines that are also quite good. Other areas, Argentina, I think, is producing decent wines. California too. South Africa as well. So there are lots of wine growing areas around the world producing good wines. So the best? Don't know. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below if you agree with the Shoeless Nomad or whether they're good wines. Let's admit that. But the best? Don't know. Thanks. Another one here from Deb. Hi Stuart, Deb from Canberra, Australia. I'm really keen to retire in Spain. I love the culture. Thanks, Deb. If you're keen, go for it. Why not? Come and check it out. Maybe spend some months here first, get a feel for the place. I wouldn't pack my bags and sell up and move here without that prior experience, because there might be something that you don't like, or you might find that your neighbours or the town that you move to, people are not that friendly when it comes to foreign people moving in. I don't know. Just check it out. But I have seen documentaries on the internet from Australian television programs that have spoken to people that have done exactly what you're planning to do. Move to Spain, retire. Take your superannuation fund, if you've got one down there in Australia, after all of those years of hard work, and come to a country where you might get more bang for your buck rather than the expensive Australian economy, where I heard today people are paying ridiculous prices for things like tomatoes and lettuces. Don't know whether lettuces are still expensive, but they have been. But I heard today a story of people paying $8 for a couple of tomatoes. So ridiculous prices going on down there in Australia. But according to the government, the cost of living crisis is over. But again, if you believe what the government there tells you, you might need to see a specialist. But yeah, come to Spain, check it out first. But don't put all your eggs in the one basket just yet. Get a feel for the place, find a place that you like, and then take the decisions from there. But that would be my advice. Who was that? Deb. That would be my advice, Deb, and I'm sure it makes common sense, or it makes sense to do that rather than selling up and moving here without that prior experience, which I imagine you're planning on doing anyway. Thanks for the comment. Another one here from Bindi. They don't want you to travel. They want to keep people in 15-minute cities. Thanks, Bindi, for the comment. I don't know who you're referring to when you use the word they. Who's they? Who is it exactly they? Is it the politicians, that government? Is it these anonymous faces that people say are controlling the world, making us do things that we don't want to do, trying to confine us to 15-minute cities? And I'm going to tell you, Bindi, that the concept of a 15-minute city, because virtually every city in Spain is a 15-minute city, meaning that you can do everything within 15 minutes of your home. But of course, this concept has been taken to the next level by some experts out there, the famous conspiracy theorists who think that they're trying to take away our rights, that we won't be able to travel out of these 15-minute cities. We'll be locked in to these 15-minute cities. You want to go from London to Liverpool? No. You won't be able to take a train because that will be prohibited by the powers that be. That's what some people think. Personally, I don't think this, but we can see here clearly from Bindi's comment that they, whoever they is or they are, don't want us to travel and keep us confined to the 15-minute cities. Bullcrap. Another one here from 70PNG. Hi Stu, I just returned from a road trip I made with a friend. We went from Barcelona to Valencia, stopped in Salau, Tarragona City, Benicàssim, Castellón City, Valencia. We did not reach Murcia. I truly liked Benicàssim, quiet at least in June, very clean, affordable prices, and all amenities were close by. The beach was amazing. Thanks, 70PNG. Maybe Benicàssim is another example of the 15-minute city. All of the amenities were close by. Whew, nothing worse than having all of the amenities within 15 minutes so that you don't have to travel to the other side of the city to do things, right, Bindi? So, didn't make it to Murcia. It doesn't matter. You saw plenty of places there. Tarragona, Benicàssim, Castellón City, moving down the coast to Valencia. Didn't get to Alicante either. Never mind, save that for the next trip. But you got an experience of the Mediterranean life in some of the places that you mentioned there. And as you said, yeah, you liked it. Fantastic. Amenities close by, amazing beaches, and not too crowded in the month of June. In August, it would be a different story. So I wouldn't come back then. But June, normally you can travel to most parts of Spain and not experience a lot of crowds, unless, of course, it's Barcelona or Madrid or one of the crowded cities anyway. But the coastal areas in the off-peak season, wonderful, wonderful. Thanks for that. And the final comment here from Tex. Worst part is that you can't find an horchata in Madrid to save your life. Thanks, Tex. Yeah, the horchata. To be honest, Tex, I'm not a fan of horchata. I probably had it a couple of times in my times here in Spain during my 25 or plus years in the country. I might have bought it from the supermarket that you can buy at Mercadona, I think. They sell it there. It originates from Valencia, or that part of Spain, I think, the Mediterranean area. And you're right, it isn't a popular drink in Spain. You don't see a lot of kids walking around with horchata de chufi and whatever else they would be drinking of an afternoon. Some people obviously would like it, but as far as horchata stands go, yeah, you're not going to see a lot. You might see a place selling beer or wine or Coke or Fanta or other types of drinks, but horchata in Madrid, yeah, probably not. Different thing would be in Valencia or Alicante or someplace where it's more common. But in Madrid, yeah, you can find it, but is it common? Probably not. Or at least I don't see it. Don't look for it, I suppose. Maybe in ice cream shops. I don't know. Let us know if there are a lot of horchata places in central Madrid. Because where I live here on the outskirts, there's no one selling horchata. I can almost guarantee that. Thanks for the comment, Tex. Now, we're going to go into the live chat, but before I get there, I have to change the backdrop picture. You can see it on the screen anyway. It's this one here. Jorgen sent this photo through of his travels to the north of Spain. This is a village which is in the region of Cantabria in the north of the country and borders the Basque country, a place called Castro Urdiales. And it's one of these typical coastal towns there that obviously has some type of military history, an important part of the country for the Spanish police, because when the problems were prominent in the Basque country back in the day, the police set up their operations in Castro Urdiales, the Guardia Civil and the like, and they used to cross the border so as not to live or spend too much time in the Basque country, which was an area with a bit of tension back in the day, especially if you were working for the Spanish police forces. So that's where they were all set up. I think even today there's still a big civil guard presence in that part of Spain. So thanks, Jorgen for sending that photo through. And if anyone has a similar picture they would like to see on the backdrop, the email is on the screen now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send the photos through. Lots have been coming through in recent days since I put the call out for more photos. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. I always love the variety that we get in the photos sent through by viewers that have taken them obviously on their trips, and even residents here when they're out and about with their cameras. And let's be honest, everyone has a camera on them nowadays in their pocket, in their phones, which take fairly decent photos. So yeah, feel free to send them through. I'm also going to put the like icon on the screen. We're currently sitting at 95 likes. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today. So hit the like button if you can. We've got one dislike, which is the average. I normally get an average of around 99% of positive feedback, and there's about 1% of negative feedback when it comes to the likes and dislikes on this channel. That's the channel average. So if you are in the 1% that does give the negative like, take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I've also got to put the support icons on the screen as well. People that have supported, very important to keep the channel going. The super thanks option on YouTube, super chat option in the live streams. People that have bought me a coffee, thank you very much for that. Very generous. I had a nice coffee the other day, yesterday in Ourense, which somebody provided through the Buy Me a Coffee option. And also the longer term supporters on Patreon, thank you very much for that support. And I'm going to put this one on the screen too. The channel members of the YouTube channel, thank you very much for that too. I appreciate the support through that way as well. And we just saw it a minute ago, the subscribe button. Lots of people that watch these videos, believe it or not, are not subscribed to the channel. It's about 50% of people that watch the videos regularly are not subscribed. So do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and it doesn't cost a thing. But it also helps support the channel and keeps the channel growing. So thank you very much for that. Now, I'm going to go into the live chat in just a moment. I've took the, there it is, back on the screen now, the Buy Me a Coffee QR code, which is an easy way to do that. Now, into the chat. Let's have a look what's bubbling away here. Let me scroll up to the top. Andrew is the first person that I can see coming in from a beautiful sunny 24 degrees Celsius in London southeast. A regular viewer of the channel is Andrew, of course, and a valued member. Has that little yellow symbol next to his name there. Thank you very much for that. Sani is in the chat too. Warm and sunny in Basingstoke. Thanks for that. Janet, sunny Oxford. So the UK, the weather is good. John, who normally is in the UK, is back in Almeria for 10 days now and looking forward to the Cruz Campo that he's going to drink tonight. All the best, John. Thank you very much, John. Enjoy the Cruz Campo if you can, of course. You guys know that Cruz Campo is not my favourite drink. If I had a choice between Cruz Campo and any other beer, I would choose any other beer rather than Cruz Campo. That's basically where I'm at as far as Cruz Campo is concerned. But other people enjoy it, and that's the most important thing. Personal choice. Renan is in the chat here. Hello, Stu and everyone from a sunny LA. Thanks, Renan. Amanda's in the chat too from Shropshire. Warm there also. Fire looks awful. It does look awful, Amanda. Terrible fire in Tarragona with 18,000 people, as we saw there, confined to their homes, trying to keep them safe. Don't want people out and about when the fire is raging, because the wind can change direction at any moment, meaning the fire can change direction and people get caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's the way that these things work, unfortunately. Al is in the chat too, valued member also of the channel, reporting from a sunny 32 degrees in Philadelphia. Hope all is well with everyone. Thanks for that, Al. John's out for drinks, so he's already on the Cruz Campo. He didn't hear my advice, so never mind. Johnny's coming in from San Diego, California. 30, no weather there, but just the sunny. Thanks, Johnny. Also a valued member. Rianne or Ryan coming in from Wales. Hot there, 25 degrees. Thanks for that. Mike, 32 degrees plus. Now, the plus is there because obviously coming from Canada, you often get the negative sign before the before the numbers in Canada. So, plus 32 in Vermilion, Canada. Thanks for that, Mike. I would expect that given that it is summer. Janet's watching the tennis. Don't think Cam Norris will come back to beat Carlitos, the Spanish tennis sensation, the new Spanish. Well, he's been around for a few years now. Carlos Alcaraz, I think, is his name. From Murcia, he is. And he's trying to dominate the world tennis scene at the moment. Probably has an easier run than he would have had 10 years ago now that people like Djokovic are coming to the end of their careers and Nadal has retired and Federer's out of the way. And Cam Norris, is he a British tennis player? Don't know. Gigi, the Camino experts in the chat here. Various Camino routes walking backwards to Madrid. It's interesting seeing other pilgrims from the front rather than the back. Many are telling me I'm walking the wrong way. Yeah, well, don't tell Gigi because Gigi, Camino expert, knows what she's doing. Is Vox pronounced Vox or Box? Well, if you speak Spanish, Al, it would be Box because the V and the B, there's no distinction between the two sounds. Baca or Baca, Box or Box. As an English speaker, we do differentiate between the two, Vox or Box, of course, but Spanish people, the majority, I would say, don't differentiate between those two sounds, as we know. And it can get a little bit confusing sometimes, especially if you use the word Baca, for example. What are you talking about? Are you talking about an animal or part of the car? And people do make mistakes, Al, when it comes to the spelling, as people do in English. I see them here on the channel all the time, spelling mistakes. I would like to think that it's the auto correction maybe getting it wrong, but sometimes I don't know. Stephen, valued member 2, coming in from southern Spain. Where's that? Sabanillas, Andalucía. Loving the temperature here for 3 months. First time I've driven over in a boat from to Santander. Dropped into Avila. Nice. Thanks, Stephen. Yeah, Avila is a nice city. And if you're on that road, you may as well drop in there on the Coruña road. But I thought that, maybe that's a bit out of the way if you're coming in from, where did you get into there? Santander. Well, I thought Santander you'd probably come down a different road to Madrid, but obviously not. Thanks for that, Stephen. Andrew coming in from Amariña. Nice weather today. Warm, sunny, nice breeze. Not too humid, which can be a problem up there as well when it gets too hot. Sports reporter Jimbo is in the chat. Women's football, Australia 3, Panama 2. And the Women Euro, Spain 6, Belgium 2. There we go. Thanks, Jimbo, for the sports update. Al saying here, the Balcony High Diver is hereby nominated for the Darwin Awards. Thanks, Al. Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, what was the guy? 20 years of age, German tourist, probably on holiday in Mallorca with his mates, mucking around. As we say in Australia, mucking around and, of course, thinking it was a good idea at whatever the time of the day to take the jump from a third-floor balcony into the pool below, misjudging, of course, and the result. And I'm sure that his friends are going to remember that or have nightmares about that for the rest of their lives because of one bad decision that this person has taken. Or maybe it's a person that has taken bad decisions all their life. I've got no idea. But far too frequently, people die in Mallorca because of balcony accidents. I'm going to use the word accidents, but sometimes they're not accidents. They're just stupidity. People trying to go from one room to the other because, as I said, a lot of those hotels have open balconies. And it's probably tempting. You look around the corner there, you've had a few beers. You can hear the voices. You say, well, there's a party going on next door. So they try to jump into the room via the balcony rather than using the traditional access, which is called a door. Don't know why, but they do it. And then other people try to jump into the pool and are not successful. But every year, people die. And this is the first one of the year. We will no doubt see more throughout the summer as these people drink too much and do stupid things. I think I just explained it hollow. I think I just explained it, but that's what goes on. I mean, I was young once. We were all young. We all did stupid things. We all drank a little bit too much, or the majority of us did. But jumping from a hotel balcony into a pool, I don't know. I don't know whether I would have done that back in the day. Well, obviously I didn't, because I'm still here, or if I did, I survived. But I didn't. I can say that. But too many people lose their lives in this way. Last year we saw numerous people losing their lives, falling from balconies. And the people in Mallorca must just be fed up having to deal with this. Fed up. But anyway. Jimbo back with another sports report. Cricket Australia won by 33 runs, 133. Player of the match, Alex Carey. Cricket Australia, yeah, that's the organising body, Jimbo. I think they call themselves the Australian cricket team, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Playing the West Indies in Grenada or somewhere, I think. Iggy coming in from a sunny Jaén. Good to see you, Iggy. 1, 2, 3. Sean Away coming in from Ireland, County Waterford. To be exact, personally, I have no sympathy for anyone injured while tormenting an animal. Just wanted to say I absolutely love your food videos, Stuart. Thanks for that, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be honest, I enjoy doing them. I enjoy going to restaurants. I enjoy eating the food. I understand some people don't like the content, but a lot of people do. And I can see that by the amount of people that watch some of them and the amount of people that hit the like icon, which is important. And I'm enjoying doing it at the moment because I'm bringing my son along with me. He's on the camera, even though he complains sometimes about having to pick up the camera and not eat his meal. But anyway, it is what it is, and I like putting them out there, and I like doing them. And I think Spain has a cuisine that is worth showing to the world. And one of the reasons I decided doing this, obviously I've seen other people doing that, but a lot of the other people that are doing these food reviews, they're just doing it with fast food, with junk food. They're eating kebabs, they're eating fish and chips, they're making very unhealthy food choices. And here in Spain, yeah, you can eat kebabs, you can eat pizzas, you can eat burgers, you can eat all of that type of stuff. But the traditional cuisine here, which is so easy to find, and it's available everywhere. You can have these menus del dia, for example, or order a la carte. And you're always going to get fresh food, good food, well-cooked food in the majority of the cases. And that's what I'm trying to show. And people that come here, whether they're going to Benidorm and they're going to Mallorca and they're only eating the same food that they would eat back home, yeah. So maybe it's education. I don't know. Walter's coming in from the south of Florida, 34 degrees there, and raining according to Walter. Thanks, Walter, for that. Al also saying here that as a qualified or certified sommelier, wine expert, I can attest the best wine is in the glass you're holding. Thanks, Al. I would agree with that. El Conquistador, quit telling people the secret of green Spain. That's my spot. Well, too late, El Conquistador. The cat is out of the bag. Spanish people have known about it for years. And nowadays, of course, it's very difficult to keep things a secret. It's very, very difficult. Malcolm's saying that the smoke arrived in Tarragona this morning, and it was pretty thick from that fire, obviously coming down the coast there. What else we got going on here? Chris is saying everyone has their own liking for wine. I like the Governor the best, but I like Rioja with a picture of a fish on it. Don't know the name. €3 to €4. I had an Australian in the UK. Didn't like it, especially the price, £5. Yeah, Chrissy, as pointed out just a minute ago by Al, the best wine is in the glass that you are holding, of course. Wine, it depends what you like, what your particular tastes are. You might like a more full-bodied wine. You might like a sweeter wine, a young wine, a white wine, a red wine, a rosé, whatever. But the Governor, I haven't tried it yet. What have we got going on here? There's a comment going on here. I'm not sure what it's about. I can't understand the point of this. Talking about tracking. What are they talking about? So I'm going to get rid of that one because I can't see the rest of the thread. So I don't know what they're talking about. So we'll get rid of that until I can find out what the conversation's about, because tracking on your phone... What else we got going on here? Another one. So there must be some type of spamming activity, I think. What else we got going on? Let's have a look. What else? Yeah, exactly, Andrew. What was that guy on before I banned him in the chat? Conversations that have no relevance to what we're talking about today, or maybe there is some relevance. I've got no idea. I don't know. But anyway, we don't have the time. Simon or Simon saying, that's Castro Urdiales in the background. Is that a question? I think that's a statement. But anyway, yeah, it is. That is true. Antonio's here also. Regular viewer is Antonio. Hello, Stuart and everyone. About not the best wine, but amazing wines. Australian wines are just amazing. Top notch. Yeah, again, it's the use of the word the best. It gets thrown around a lot. The best this, the best that. Is it the best? It's good. Is it the best? Don't know. Ambrose coming in from Cuenca, Ecuador, as opposed to the Cuenca here in Spain. Obviously where the name originated from. Jeff is in Cuenca. Casas de Benitez, now a Spanish citizen with a DNI and passport after years of study. Thanks, Jeff. The exam's not that difficult, is it? The citizenship exam, you only have to get 15 of the 25 questions correct. Some of the questions are fairly common knowledge, I think, if you understand Spain and the way it works. The language test also, level A2 for the DELE. And as I said, the citizenship test, which is interesting. Most people finish in around 10 minutes. Tai Chi Bills coming in from Orihuela, 36 degrees there. That's hot. Just became a member, did Tai Chi. Thanks for that, Tai Chi Bill, for jumping on board. Great to see you as a member of the channel. Thank you. We're pushing up now. I reckon that's probably around 75, 80 members. What else? Scott. So, hot. I saw a dog chasing a cat and they were both walking. Exactly. That's what we're dealing with. Even the cats and dogs are not up to a chase. Malcolm saying the cam lost. Yeah, I think I lost the cam before. I don't think there's a problem now, because if I can see myself on the screen, the camera's working. Domingo is in Delaware in the US. 93 degrees Fahrenheit there. That is hot. Tom, watching for a fair while now. Enjoy the news coverage. Things that are important to those who live in Spain. Trump is not the only story in town. Cheers. No, that is true. Trump is not the only story in town, although he would like to be the only story. But he's not. What else? Let's have a look. Time to raise the age for drinking alcoholic beverages for tourists. Yeah, what do we raise it to, Walter? 40? 45? 50? Don't know. zero or zero. Hey, Stu. Hopefully the weather there gets cooler soon. Are you saving a non-black shirt for a special occasion on the channel? No, I always wear black, Zero. I find that it's the colour that I prefer. And for some reason, I've ended up with all black T-shirts. Don't know why. I had some other colours, but they shrank in the dryer. Antonio agrees. The toxic relation with alcohol in Spain, but we have a healthy relation with alcohol. You drink it if you like it, not to get drunk. It's a cultural problem. It is indeed, Antonio. It's a cultural issue. People come down here, see cheaper alcohol than they are used to. The serving sizes as well, especially if you go on to the distilled alcohols. The gins and the vodkas and the rums and the whiskies and the things like that. And people are sometimes surprised by the amount of alcohol that is served for the price. And the quality in some of these places also leaves a lot to be desired, the quality of the alcohol. So it's a combination of different things. Sun as well, I imagine, affects people. But just basically, it's also the culture here as well, where they'll just keep on serving and serving and serving and serving you alcohol. And we see what happens. What else we got going on here? Citizenship was easy. The language was the hard thing, not multiple choice. No, it wasn't, but it's only a level A2. Only a level A2, Jeff. Just found out that Spain, according to Schmacker here, has a big tuna fishing industry. It's a wonder tuna doesn't feature prominently in Spanish cuisine, or does it? It does feature reasonably heavily in some cuisines, especially in the south of the country. A lot of restaurants will have tuna on the menu. I say tuna. Probably if you're from the States, you'll say tuna. I say tuna. Yeah, you'll go to restaurants, good quality restaurants, you'll see it on the menu. You won't get it in a menu del día because it's expensive, but you will see tuna on many, many menus. Also, Wackett also in the chat, 32 degrees where they are today in the States, of course, Oregon. Tuna fishes in most salads, according to Chrissy. That is true, but that's a tinned tuna, of course. Don't really know where that comes from, whether it's fished in Spain. But as Al says here, very big in Cádiz, the tuna industry. There's a place called Barbate in Cádiz. Barbate, B-A-R-B-A-T-E. Barbate, famous for other things nowadays, but historically a big tuna fishing industry there. But of course the European Union, the fishing rights, all of these things have affected, and another product has come into prominence in that part of Spain, which is grown in Morocco. One here from El Duderino. I agree. The tourists get very wasted coming out here because they're not used to the culture. It's why we have such small beers. It is true that Spanish people do drink a lot more socially. The younger generations are following their Northern European counterparts in binge drinking, getting absolutely smashed. And as a result, fights occur and all of the things that you expect with heavy alcohol use. But in general, it's a social drink, smaller beers rather than pints, and rather than, as I said, binge drinking or drinking just to get drunk, which tends to be the habit of many people. So it is a little bit different in that sense, but it is changing. I see it all the time with the botellón. Young people getting absolutely smashed. But of course, they get smashed at times of the day, and I've mentioned this before, when people don't see it. If you're roaming around the streets at 4 o'clock in the morning, off your face, not many people are going to see you. But if you're a tourist and you're absolutely off your face at 7 p.m., that's what happens. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. What else we got here? Let's have a look. Last comment. Let's have a look. 17 degrees, according to Jim, in Ireland. If you're ever in Mallorca, try going to Cala de Or, I think that is. Food is top class. 80% of restaurants have a great sense of, great sense of humour, lad. Jim in Ireland. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for that. Glad you enjoy the humour. I try to throw it in there every now and again if I can. Not easy. But if I see something that I can get a laugh out of, I throw it in. Thanks for that, Jim. 17 degrees in Ireland. Bit chilly. And area, or area, not sure the pronunciation of that word there. As someone who's trying to escape to Spain as an American refugee from the Trump regime, I hope the country doesn't ever get taken over by your far-right anti-immigration party. I will integrate, though. Area, thanks for that. We saw the article first up today, the Vox group thinking that that's the message that is going to give them more votes in the next general election when it takes place in 2027, I think, unless, of course, Mr. Sanchez decides that fresh elections are needed sooner. Don't know. And Vox, of course, on the anti-immigration stance. Vox has been virtually copying everything that Donald Trump has been doing. They went to his inauguration, of course. They've openly said that they are they want to become the Make Spain Great Again party. They've openly said that. They've got the merchandise. They've joined with a couple of other similar parties around the European Union. In Hungary, I think, is the main one. And they've taken the anti-immigration stance, focusing solely on one group of immigrants, okay? The people that they consider don't integrate into society because for whatever reason, whether it's a religious matter, whether it's a way people dress, I've got no idea. Same thing happens in other countries as well. We all know the rhetoric. And now they're worried, as some people are, that Spanish culture will be lost to these people that are coming in with a different vision or a different religion and all of these things. So who knows? Will the Spanish people vote for them? They didn't in the past. Will they do it in the next elections? Don't know. Time will tell. I don't know. And if Vox does get into government through a coalition, I don't think they're going to have much say, to be honest. But you never know. But I wouldn't worry about it, to be honest. The far right, according to Antonio, are not anti-immigration in Spain. Spanish society is very welcoming to everyone. You're going to love it here. Please choose well your place of living. Thanks, Antonio, for that. But the article that we saw would contradict what you say there, what you said there. But anyway, doesn't matter. Melissa's in the chat here too. Final comments getting down to here. Going to wrap it up soon. We've been going for nearly an hour. Melissa, hi Stu. Late to the party. Gorgeous weather in the Basque Country. 20 degrees and a light breeze. Great weather to sleep tonight. Think I might. Yep. The secret is in those nighttime temperatures, Melissa. You need to be able to sleep. If you can't sleep, you wake up in the morning, you are cranky. And when a lot of people don't sleep and a lot of people are cranky, not a very nice place to be living in. I'll tell you that. And it's a problem. But what can we do? Do we all rush out and buy air conditioning units? As some people have suggested. Lauren saying hello to you and the people watching. Thanks, Lauren. And Elvis with a piece of advice for my shrinking T-shirts. Get large T-shirts. Love the show. Very informative. Greetings from Holland. Or, Elvis, don't put them in the dryer. That could be the other option as well. I don't know. Ever since my T-shirts shrank, I haven't been putting them in the dryer. I've been putting them on the line to dry. With this weather that we've got now, it takes about 10 minutes, so there's not an issue. But in winter, you can be waiting a little bit longer for your T-shirts to dry. And El Duderino, I think this is difficult name to pronounce that one. Just learn some Spanish, and 95% of the Spanish will be happy to have you. 95%. There's always going to be 5% that won't be happy either way. And I've come across some of those 5% in my travels, and they're not pleasant people. I'll tell you that. But 95%, which is an overwhelming majority, will welcome you with open arms. And I'm going to say that straight up here that the Spanish people in general are welcoming. I will say that. There are that 5%, of course, maybe a little bit more than 5%, maybe a little bit less than 5%, that will just do whatever they do. And interesting with these policies, because people that don't contribute to society, these immigrants that this Vox party want to kick out, people that don't contribute to society, what if we went around and got up the locals that don't contribute anything to society? What will we do? What will we do? Don't know, but it's always the immigrant that cops it, right? Somebody who's a little bit different. But anyway. Super chat has just come through from Melissa, €5.99. Thanks for that. Enjoy the channel, learn a lot. Have a cup of tea or coffee, cup of joe, or a glass of tinto on me. I will do, Melissa. I'll probably have a glass of wine, considering we have been talking about it tonight. A nice glass of red or a nice glass of white, something along those lines. So thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciated. And Aria saying, thanks to all of the nice Spanish-based commenters. That makes me feel more reassured. The USA is getting scary. Thanks for that. Yeah, 95% I think was the figure thrown there by Antonio, was it? And I would say that that would be absolutely the case. But if you come across the 5%, just walk on by. You'll know who they are. You will know who they are, because they all look the same. T-shirts shrank. Is that shrank, Jim? Wouldn't be anything to do with all the food you eat. No, Jim. I maintain my weight, luckily. I'm one of these people that, I think I mentioned this before, that my weight fluctuates, throughout the year. Maybe I'll go up 5, 6, come down, but I'm always around the same. Might get a little bit more of a pot belly the more beer I drink, but I try to get rid of it through regular exercise. So I try to maintain my weight more or less, and shrinking is the issue, not me putting on weight. Buenas, desde Denver, Colorado, the Ruby Dog. Thanks for that. And Andrew, treated like a local when he lived in Las Lagunas, the only giddy there, and accepted, as we said, as a local. Absolutely, why not? Why not? A lot of people, I suppose, I'm going to say this for even some English speakers that come here to Spain, integration's difficult through the language and things like that. Not bad people, of course, but they, for some reason, they struggle with the language and some parts of the culture because they're looking for something else here in Spain. But each to their own. So we'll see what happens, but we're in for an interesting time, I think, when those next elections roll around. Not only because of what Vox could possibly do, but we'll see what direction Mr. Sanchez and his cronies go in. It's going to be interesting. Now I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll be back again on Thursday with another live stream. Hope to see you there. Until then, hasta luego. Adios. Buenas tardes. And stay cool.